What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Now if you're new here, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, alright? Now in this project, or in this episode, I'll be tackling the driver's side downpipe as well as the crossover pipe. I've actually already started with the driver's side front turbo downpipe, which is right here. I have it basically exiting right here. But the intent today is to get the crossover mainly from there to over here. Okay, and from there, depending on how long that takes, I can probably get started on the intercooler side as well. Now for the most part, the downpipe here is going to be very much the same as the downpipe here, and since I've already recorded that in a previous episode, I'm going to skip the downpipe portion of it. Now I will record anything from the crossover up until where they meet here. Okay, now for the crossover, I'm thinking of using this piece that I have left over. Now this thing is actually a little bit bigger than a 2.5 inch, but I should be able to just fill the gaps with the weld or kind of angle it like that on this side. That way I can just go straight into a 3 inch, and then the merge will just be a 2.5 into a 3 inch pipe. Okay, so here is the passenger side downpipe. As you guys can see, there's a big transition from here to a 3 inch. This is basically a 2.5 to a straight 3 inch. And I'm doing this because I'm going to do a Y pipe or a merge on this side as well. Now again, this downpipe that leads to the catback is just for noise control. So it's not really for flow. So I'm not concerned about this Y being too sharp of a bend versus something like this. Okay, majority of the time it's gonna be open downpipe that exits on the hood anyway, so I don't really see the point of going the extra mile and, you know, doing a whole mandrel bends on the downpipe. Alright, so I'm gonna go ahead and weld this and keep working on the rest. Alright, got this thing done. Time to put it in there. Got the downpipe right inside, as well as with the Y pipe right there. Okay, it's a little bit tight. Let me see if I can show you. Alright, so fitment is a little bit tight, but you know, got enough clearance in there, so that should be good. Now if you guys notice, I did add a V-band right here. That's just because I don't want the crossover to be linked up, and then the V-band here, it'll be a little hard to take off the downpipe. Okay, so with this V-band right there, I should just be able to unclip the V-bands here or disconnect the V-band at the bottom and then kind of snake it up here once it's fully completed. Alright, so I am in the middle of connecting the front turbo downpipe to the rear turbo downpipe and kind of ran into a bit of a problem here. The way I made this is actually slightly off, so it's a little bit higher than the bottom one. So that means I need to make almost like an S-bend. So it needs to go down a little bit. Then as soon as it turns, you need to turn back this way. That's gonna be a little bit challenging, but I got plenty of tubing in there somewhere. So I'm using a slightly higher angle than a 90. Typically I use a 90 degree to make the S-bend, but this should be close enough. And all I did there is cut it right there. And then all you're gonna do is turn it around this way, and that kind of creates the S-bends right there. If you use a 90 and cut it right down the middle, it'll be more of an S, but this should be close enough for what I need. Alright guys, so here it is. This is literally all I need. And let me see if I can do this right. Basically, I'm gonna go line this up like so, and it should slide in just like that. And then I just need to weld it. Alright, let's check this out. So I got the pipe welded already. I have the V-band in place, and all we need to do is turn like that. Check it out. Looks good. So I'm gonna go ahead and actually weld this in place right here, and I'm gonna try to add as much bead as possible so when I take it out, hopefully it doesn't warp. So that should be interesting because I don't know how I'm going to be able to weld this from the bottom. Probably lay a bead here and then on the side right here. Alright guys, so here it is. Merge pipe, Y pipe, or I guess also downpipe. Whatever you want to call this thing. That's already done. Passenger side's already done. It's time to actually make that match up with this. Alright, so with this 90 here, you could actually see the S shape that I was talking about. You know, like that. Okay. What I use it for is it basically allows me to offset a pipe. So instead of going straight down this way, you could offset it a little bit more that way. Alright, so trying to do the last bit right there. This one's proving to be a little bit more difficult than that one. And I think it has to do with because I'm trying to reach over the engine bay and I can't really see the angle from the back if I'm matching and everything. And it's hard to eyeball everything from over here. So what I came up with is I basically cut off one of the pieces like this. It kind of allows you to slip in a pipe in there. So I'm kind of cheating a little bit, but it seems like I could make it work. So I basically slip it onto my S pipe or my intended S pipe, and it's just gonna slip out like that and get the whatever angle I need. And that should be good for the clearance. Alright guys, here it is, mounted and welded. Now I still haven't tightened up the V-band yet because I still need to kind of move this around and align it with this pipe. At this point, what I typically do is I cut a pie-shaped pipe that fits around, you know, this missing area right here. But that tends to take a long time because what you end up doing is you have to basically cut it, test fit it, trim it, test fit, trim it, test fit, and so forth. It just takes too much time. Because I'm not too concerned about the flow, again, this is more for the cat back, which is just for quieting it down, because I do have 4 hood dump. What I did is I basically got this overpipe that's a little bit bigger, and I'll just kind of go like this. If I could get it to move. There you go. Alright, just kind of slip on both the pipe, and then I'll just tack that in place and then take it off and fully weld it. Alright, so that is it. I'll go ahead and do that, and then I'll show you guys the finished product. There it is. Crossover is now complete. Check it out. So with those 2 B-bands tightened, check out the clearance on the back one. It's basically right on the money. Alright, so just a quick tip for those who's never built a crossover. If you're doing a B-band style and you're not putting in this sort of flex pipe here, you're gonna want to wait until this thing fully cools off. Once you tack it in place, wait for it to fully cool off. That way, you know, it's right angle or it's the right position to where you want it to go. And then take it off and weld slow. Okay, don't try to warp it or don't go too fast because you'll end up warping the thing. Alright, so I decided to take this off so you guys can see exactly what's going on. I know it's a little hard to see when it's mounted. So here it goes. So from the first 2 turbos, so this is the driver side front, driver side back, passenger front, passenger back. They just kind of go into a Y in the front and a Y into here, and then those 2 Ys meet right here into a single 3-inch exhaust. I haven't done that part because I'm going to do that last after I'm finished with everything else I need to do for the engine bay. Okay, but there you go. Hope you guys like that episode. Give me a like if you do, subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you guys next time.